Yo, what up guys? So today we're gonna be comparing the differences between these two not fake collies, but these two collies. So yeah, I just ordered this one in the mail like 2 days ago. And this one I've had for over a year now. And this one is completely fake. I was worried that this one was going to be fake, but comparing the two of them, they're definitely not. So I figured I would make a video to just kind of like show you guys some differences between like real LPS and fake LPS. So let's do that. So to start out with, some clear and obvious differences between the two collies, or just fake LPS in general, is fake LPS tend to have like a very sticker look to them. Like the markings here, they're like 100% clearly defined, and like there's no like gradients to it or like fuzzy edges. It just looks completely like it was perfectly painted on. They basically look too perfect. Even like here with the variation in the colorings, they look 100% perfect. Like it looks perfect. Whereas this one, you can clearly tell there's like variation here where you can see like speckles of the darker colors in the lighter ones. And on the side here with the white, you can see where they airbrushed this darker cherry color onto her back after they painted the white, so you can like see the airbrushed effect to it, whereas on this collie you don't see that at all, like on either side of it. They look different. And then the eyes, they look the same, but they're really not. This one has like more of a almost sticky shininess to it. Like if you touch it, it feels more like weirdly smooth, but at the same time, like you can feel the material that they use to like shine the eyes. Whereas this one doesn't feel like that at all. It just feels like straight up plastic. Whereas this one feels like actual paint on here. Those are two huge differences between real and fake LPS, especially between these two. So for this, I had to bring them a little bit closer so the camera would focus, because my camera doesn't autofocus. But this is like a very small difference that's in fake collies. Their mouths are less defined, whereas you can see this one has more of a shadow in this little dip here, and this one is more bright. So that's a huge difference between fake collies and the real collies. This is the fake one. And they also have this weird difference in their backs. This one kind of like sticks up more, kinda. It's more obvious on one of my other fake collies that has this problem. Also, their paint chips really easily, so you can just like kind of scratch this off with your nail if you try it hard enough, and it just kind of like flakes off weird, whereas this one doesn't. Like it might scratch a little bit, but it won't flake off like paint. It's painted, but it's just not the same kind of paint that's used on fakes. And something else that fakes tend to have is their bodies are really hard. Like if you have a real LPS, like one that you know is for sure real, you can squish the tail like fairly easily. I don't know if I can do this. Like, see, it moves pretty easily. You don't even have to put much effort into it. Whereas this one is like really hard and doesn't want to move much. And same thing with their legs and stuff. They're very hard to smush, whereas like real LPS will have some give to them. They won't smush like a lot, but they'll still kind of like move a little bit, whereas these ones won't move at all. So those are two big differences between real and fake ones. Also the ears, they have like same thing with the mouth. Very strange, like less definition in the ears, whereas this one has more shadow to it because it's more like the crevices are deeper, whereas this one is not as much because this was made from a mold of a real LPS. And just another one to kind of compare, like to show you the differences with like the gradients in the markings on the fake LPS. This is a fake one, obviously. There's no way I can afford a real version of this pet right now, but like they just look too perfect. Like the eyes are too perfect and the circles in here are too small. The ears, again, don't have as much definition. It's very hard. Like, this tail is even harder than the other fake that I was showing you. Like, you can't bend this tail at all. And because this is an older LPS, the older the pet is, usually the more squishy the pet is. Like, the plastic is slightly squishier. I can show you on one of my much older collies that I have. But yeah, the markings on here, they're too perfect. The eyes are weirdly small, like the little white dots in here, they're too small compared to the real one. And also, the magnet is fake. Like, the real one is supposed to have a pink magnet, so that's a very clear indication if the magnet is wrong. Something else to note with fake LPS, their magnets, they're usually too small, and they're not as light of a blue as the real LPS magnets should be when they're blue. And sometimes with fake LPS, they'll have like a weird bump in the blue magnets. Like, it's like a very obvious lump that looks like it needs to be filed off or something, or someone cut it weird. That's a clear indication of whether or not it's fake. So yeah, let me go get that collie. So this one I've had for years and years, and her tail is very squishy, as you can see right here. Like, I can bend this very easily. It's not hard like the other one was. As a matter of fact, this one actually has like a slight break in it. And then their heads. That's like the last and final thing with fake LPS. Their heads don't bobble nearly as much. Like, they'll bobble a little bit, maybe, if you get like a really high quality one, but like, when you set them down, they should have some more movement than the fake ones do. Like this one does. Some real LPS, they won't have as much of a bobble because they have a stiff neck syndrome that happens sometimes, but like, see here, the difference with the blue magnet, it's bigger and it's more smooth and light. Also, something that you can check, I don't know if this 100% works with all fakes, because it just probably depends on the magnet that they use, but most fake LPS will stick to a real LPS magnet if you put it on there, whereas two real LPS, if you put their magnets together, they will not stick. They will repel each other. They will stick only if you put the magnet on top of like the other pet's paw. So yeah, I hope that video was a little bit helpful to those of you who collect LPS. I'm the kind of person who likes to collect the real ones, so I don't like buying fakes unless I'm buying it for like a custom or something. Some people don't mind it. If you use fakes, that's fine, because not everybody can afford the real LPS, but I'm just putting this video out there for anybody who's like a collector of the actual vintage LPS and doesn't want to accidentally buy something that's fake. I can give like tips on just in general when you're like browsing eBay and stuff for like what to look out for in sellers that could possibly be selling you fake LPS. Because nowadays they can sell some really convincing fakes. Like I've run into incidences where the fake LPS had a clear peg, or their head did kind of bobble, or the magnet was really convincing, or they just looked very similar to the real LPS, or they actually used a photo of a real LPS in the listing description, or like when you're like viewing the pet and stuff, they used actual photos from a real LPS. So I can give some tips on like how to look for stuff, and some of the sellers that I frequently buy from. Like, usually if you buy from one seller and you've bought from them before and you know that the pets that you've got were real, then you can usually trust them and buy from them again. That's usually what I do. But yeah, I hope you found this video helpful, at least for identifying collies, like fake collies and stuff. I can do for other pets as well, because I have a bunch of like fakes and stuff, and a bunch of real pets. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see more. Bye!